We are going to continue our conversation over many days in the coming months and weeks. And we're going to get into technology and what's coming in the future, and I mean, like right around the corner. But tonight, I just wanted to give you a sense of how bad it is. And I have been so concerned about the drugs, the drug gangs, MS-13 and those like them, and how they are merging with Islamic extremism and how we're in complete denial. It's already here.
Yeah.
You say...
And they're training with the video games.
Right.
And they do it. They openly advocate using video games as simulators to provide the conditioning, the desensitization.
You told me a story, and I hate to interrupt, but you told me a story about a shooter, a killer.
Paducah, Kentucky. A
A
little boy in Paducah, Kentucky had never fired a pistol before in his life. Stole a .22 caliber pistol from a neighbor's house, fired 2 magazines of ammo on a previous night, comes in his school and opens fire in a prayer circle out in front of the school, Paducah, Kentucky. He fires 8 shots. He gets 8 kids on 8 hits on 8 different kids, 5 of them headshots, the other 3 upper torsos. And he had trained on the video games. Google video games and marksmanship. Doug Gentile, a recent research demonstrating irrefutably that the video games teach marksmanship skills.
Also, there's irrefutable evidence. What is it? The American Psychiatric, or is it Pediatric?
The American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association, the American Academy of Pediatrics told both houses of Congress, 30 years of research, 1,000 sound studies have proven media violence causes violence in our society.
Okay, all right. We'll get into a solution here in a second. But so Islamic extremism is here, and it's a real problem because they're merging.
Yes, and a side note, and an important one. The thing that stops a Sandy Hook is somebody on scene that can shoot back, armed educators. It's the same thing that stops an Islamic attack on our schools. I fear, and I train this to cops and military nationwide, that when they get ready to hit us, they're going to hit a bunch of schools some morning.
I will tell you that I have feared since, what is it,
Beslan? Yeah, September 1st, 2004. Beslan is this massacre of 314 people in a school in Russia. We could wake up tomorrow morning and have 10 Sandy Hooks committed by these horrible terrorists, and it will destroy our way of life. But here's the point. If there's somebody on site that can shoot back, these people can be stopped.
Utah
has, I do a lot of work in Utah. I do not believe there's a single school district left in Utah that doesn't have armed educators. They've got armed trained educators across Utah. Utah, to my knowledge, has never had a multiple homicide in the school. Best I can tell, Utah's never had a homicide in the school, period. There's got to be one somewhere, but I can't find it.
Or armed teachers?
Armed teachers in every school across Utah.
But is it also culture?
Oh, the culture in Utah is a piece of the equation, without a doubt.
All right.
But there's some bad people in Utah, just like this, and they'll tell you that.
I know.
But another piece of the equation is deterrence. And the thing to realize is there is an answer. Our founding fathers were prescient. The Second Amendment, the 10 Commandments, there were 10 for a reason. It was the 10 Commandments, and the first 2, the 1-2 punch, was the right to free speech and the right to bear arms. And that's the solution, is empower our citizens to protect our kids, empower parents. That's the Israeli model. That's the Utah model. It's happening across Texas. It is a solution, but here's the long-term solution. TakeTheChallengeNow.net. www.takethechallengenow.net. A TV turnoff curriculum pioneered by Stanford Med School. In a controlled double-blind research, Stanford Med School demonstrated it's now being used in an entire school district. You can download it for free. We turn off TV, movie, and video games in a school. We immediately cut violence in half, cut bullying in half, and raise test scores double digits. And oh, by the way, it brings obesity down. Entire school districts are putting this in place. Go to TakeTheChallengeNow.net. and look at the information.
So it's not necessarily what the school is doing. The school is just encouraging, but it's the families are saying, turn any TV violence, turn it off.
Turn off everything. No TV, no movie, no video games for 10 days. It's a 10-day detox. And then they put themselves on a TV diet, and they get educated. And immediately, within a week, in every school, we turn this stuff off immediately.
See, this
cut
is
violence in half, cut bullying in half, and raise test scores double digits.
This is so... we find these things self-evident. It is so self-evident that guns have been around forever. There were more, correct me if I'm wrong, more guns per capita 50 years ago than today, 75 or 100 years ago, and yet something has changed.
Yes.
It's clearly something new.
Yes.
not something that has been around forever. When you watch, I don't watch rated R movies.
Yes.
I don't want to put man's inhumanity into, you are what you eat.
Yeah.
And so my wife and I have sworn them off. And it is phenomenal how shocking. I turned the TV off for a year or maybe 2 years. I turned it completely off. I turned it on, and the commercials were shocking to me.
Yes.
I turn it back on, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's shocking. And we've all been slowly boiled.
And this TV turn-off curriculum, when they turn it off, the entire town thrives. The bowling alley, the skating rink, the library. The kids are learning the games. They don't know how to play hide and seek anymore. Ollie, ollie, income free, they don't know what it means. But the teachers are teaching them in PE class, and they're out at night playing the games. Escanaba, Michigan, and upstate Michigan are the ones who pioneered it. But Du Bois, Wyoming put it in place in conjunction with their state standardized testing. And in the winter, the kids loved it so much that the senior class asked to do it again for another 10 days in the spring when the weather was better so they could have activities in conjunction with it. The kids were asking to do it again because they had so much fun. When they turned that thing off for 10 days, then they put themselves on a TV budget or TV diet.
Okay. All right. So let me come back, because I want to go back to the beginning of our conversation.
Yes.
With your personal experience.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk a little bit about the future and what.
I went out to my son's school on the day of the massacre in Jonesboro.
Okay.
It wasn't his school, it was the other middle school.
Okay, back in a second.
I went.
Just a second, back in a second.